In this video, I'm going to list my top 20 favorite scuba YouTube channels on the platform. So let's get going. I am really sticking to the scuba diving and marine biology niche. I don't really watch those channels that are like, wow, I found 49 iPhones under this waterfall while scuba diving. You have to see this. Cops are called. I'm not really into that nonsense. This list is really sticking to like scuba diving, and these guys, in my opinion, are the very best in the industry on YouTube and masters of their craft, and ones you should be watching too.
Meet Jonathan Bird, one of the world's top underwater nature cinematographers. Traveling the world on assignment for all the major networks, he is an Emmy Award-winning authority on the underwater world.
So of course I have to talk about Jonathan Bird's Blue World. You're gonna notice that on this list there's a lot of underwater cinematography, that kind of thing, as well as the educational side of scuba. So a little bit of both. And when it comes to underwater videography and scuba travel and critters, Jonathan Bird is like my go-to. He's like the GOAT. He does some of the highest, probably the highest production value and underwater videography. And when I started my main channel, I wanted to be like him, just traveling around the world, filming different dive destinations as well as the different species in each spot. He's like the man. So I'm pretty sure you guys all know him, but what list would be complete without Jonathan Bird's Blue World? So I'll get it out of the way and put him at the top. So this list is in no particular order, but Jonathan Bird, you're my boy, Blue.
You're my boy, Blue.
This video is going to be all about harness hardware. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
So next up, I have to mention another one that you guys probably already know, but I gotta get it out of the way, and that's DiversReady. So of course, with this channel, it's much different than Jonathan Bird's channel, where it's more of the educational aspect, and I absolutely love these type of nerdy educational channels. So actually, James was here in Darwin at my dive shop this year, and we didn't get to do some diving. We had a drink. I gave him and his wife some shirts, and we promised that next time we meet up, we're gonna do some diving together. So yeah, they are a really cool couple, and the channel, you guys already know it. If you're not watching them, subscribe. I mean, they're some of the top educational channels on the scuba niche, but really awesome channel.
What's up, guys? It's Brian again from LakeHickoryScuba and Marina. Today we're going to talk about nitrogen narcosis. We're going to look at the definition of it to understand exactly what it is. We're also going to look at some of the causes and effects of nitrogen narcosis, and then we're going to talk about it.
So as I said, this is all the scuba and underwater niche, and I'm not talking about like gimmicky channels that are not really about scuba. Maybe they just travel and once in a while they go scuba diving and film. I'm more a student of the game, and I like watching channels that I can learn a lot from. And if that's the case for you, then you're inevitably gonna run into LakeHickoryScuba. So this channel is super educational. I think the first time I found it is because I was just searching for how to blend nitrox with nitrox, partial pressure blending. Like, if you search for any technical question that has to do with the physics of scuba or anything with scuba, you're gonna run into LakeHickoryScuba. And so after I found it, I subscribed, and I don't just watch the newest videos to come out. I'm always finding old videos. I think he's got like 1,200. He's like an OG, but he's the kind of guy you would love to have in your dive shop as an instructor or instructor trainer. This is one of the most educational and nerdy channels out there, and I love it. I love the nerdy stuff that I can learn from. So if you're like me, you're definitely gonna want to watch Lake Hickory, and if you search for anything, you're probably gonna find him anyway. But most importantly, I'm hoping he could send me one of his mirrors, his dive mirrors. I'd really like to buy one or two or three and have them in our shop. We use them, but his are awesome, so hit me up.
And this particular video, we're going to restrict ourselves to your breathing system. Basic regular service means the first stage, and the second stage, and the safe second.
So that was AzulUnlimited, and he's another one of those old OGs of the scuba niche. You just look at him, watch his videos, and it's like Gandalf, man. He just knows everything, and he's a good one to learn from. He is just like Lake Hickory, but different topics. So he does a lot more gear reviews and how to maintain or rebuild gear. He really likes old vintage gear as well. But he'll do video topics like how a diaphragm in a second stage works, or how to clean a rebreather, things like that. Really technical stuff that I like. So yeah, it's another really good one to have in your subscription feed.
Mastering the valve drill is a crucial skill for every diver using doubles, whether in twin set or side mount configuration, irrespective of whether they are engaged in technical or recreational diving.
So if you haven't heard of flowstatedivers, well, you should. They are relatively new to YouTube, I believe, but obviously not to scuba. And they were a big inspiration for me starting this channel. We do a lot of similar topics. They have awesome videos like their side mount series, which I also have, my own side mount journey. And they have a lot of tutorials like how to master hovering, how to do valve drills on twin sets, all kinds of stuff. But they put in a lot more production quality, you know, a lot more effort and time and money into all their videos. So it is just a super high quality video every time, episode. So I like these guys a lot.
If you just bought a finger spool in order to allow you to launch lift bags, deploy DSMBs, and more, then this video is for you.
I don't know how long CircleH has been doing YouTube, but it's a relatively new discovery for me, and I think he's awesome. I'd love to do some videos together one day. He does a lot of cool topics, and it's more on the educational side once again, and he obviously knows his stuff. He also, which I can appreciate, puts a lot more effort, time, and money into his video and content, thumbnails, and really, you can tell, wants his channel to succeed. So, you gotta respect that. So I really like his channel. A lot of technical stuff, gear reviews, nitrox analyzer reviews, stuff like that. It's a really cool channel. Definitely one to check out. Woo, it is hot in the Philippines. So, I want you to watch this clip and just tell me you don't want this guy teaching your kids.
Now this for me is a rabbit. The rabbit goes out of the hole, he kind of looks around, goes around the tree, and then he goes back into the hole. You grab these two together, and then you grab this one at the top, and then you just gently pull it, and now you have a perfect bowline.
You see what I mean? Marcel Vandenberg, hopefully I pronounced that right. He does videos, like instructional videos on how to teach, mostly. He's the kind of guy, you just watch him and you're like, I really want him at my dive center. I want to cross him over to SDI, TDI, fly him in here to the Philippines and have him teaching all my kids, all our little young students. He just looks like the most joyful instructor ever. But anyways, he makes videos like that, you know, everything from a DSD all the way to IDC and above, and everything in between. So he'll show you how to do an instructor presentation, things like that. I even watched him during my IDC, learning how to do my classroom presentations. I don't even watch his videos on how to do classroom presentations. I just watch him doing a classroom presentation, and I'm not even listening to the topic, like what is nitro, whatever it is. I'm just watching how he teaches. So he's just such a good teacher or instructor. I think it's a good channel to watch. So I don't just like educational channels, even though I'm a student of the game and I end up watching those the most. I also really like destination-based channels, so I can learn about diving in certain spots. You know, not necessarily somebody that goes everywhere, but somebody that focuses on their one area, just like CritterHunter. We focus solely on Darwin here in the Philippines. You watch our channel long enough, you'll know everything there is to know. So that being said, Brian Davies, he's got a channel just like I mentioned.
Hi, Welcome to this week's or last weekend's UAE diving, where for the first time I went over to South Fujairah and dived with the Barracuda Dive Center.
It's a really good one to watch. He focuses on diving in UAE and specifically Dubai, which is unique. I mean, where can you ever get information on that? I didn't even know you could go diving there and it's worth anything, but he shows what the diving's like there. But he also has a boat series where he's building his rebuilding his 2 dive boats, which are freaking awesome. I really want to fly there and steal his small boat. It's like a center console, awesome boat built for diving. He's always customizing it, making it freaking sweet. So yeah, anyways, another take on scuba diving and another destination that's not covered by anybody else. Definitely watch Brian Davies.
A buoyancy compensator is a very personal thing. It does so much more than compensate for the extra ledge you need to stay submerged when your tanks become buoyant.
So Zach from DiveVibe, I'm really digging this guy's content. He looks like a cool dude. You ever just see a guy and he seems to be an expert in everything? For example, Zach is a CCR instructor. He's a black tip DPV dealer and probably instructor. So you can imagine what his videos are like. You ever see these kind of guys and just think, man, I wish this guy had a YouTube channel so I can learn from him for free? Well, luckily for us, Zach has a channel. He makes some pretty good videos, really good topics, more on the education side again. Diving there in Hawaii, I believe. And I'd really like to do a video with him someday, but I'm glad to have him in my subscription feed. Always good to see him when a video pops up.
Everyone has struggled with trim and buoyancy at some point in their scuba diving career. One of my patrons asked for buoyancy tips while maintaining a calm breathing pattern. So let's cover the basics, plus a short breathing exercise to help you maintain your position in the water.
So AzulUnlimited is one that I've watched for a long time. I've been subscribed since near the beginning. She had a dive center somewhere in Indonesia, some remote island somewhere. And then the pandemic happened, they got locked down, they got trapped on the island, they couldn't leave, and then they just lost the business. You know the whole story. She went back to America and started diving around. You know, she was working, and then she got into van life. So she's driving her scuba van up and down the West Coast and even Mexico, I think, just diving different destinations. She's also an instructor, so she does tutorial videos and stuff like that along the way, like dry suit and side mount, whatever. But it's a good channel. I like unique stuff, and not a lot. Well, I don't know anybody doing scuba van life. There's a lot of overlander and van life channels, but not with the scuba niche. So I like that. That being said, I think she just bought a sailboat, and she's somewhere in the Washington or whatever area, and she's about to go sailing somewhere. So that could be some really cool stuff. Can't wait to see what she's got, but a good one to subscribe to as well.
Good afternoon and welcome to DiveDiving's YouTube channel, where today we're going to have a conversation about everything we love about the marine world and about scuba diving.
So I mentioned Brian Davies Scuba because it's a destination channel. So is DiversReady. So DiversReady, they got a little dive center in Grenada in the Caribbean, and he makes videos about that. You know, dive center life, how to run a dive center, the dives around his area, as well as gear reviews. I actually found him for the first time because I did a search for Fourth Element fins review when they first came out, and he was doing reviews. So anyways, he does reviews, tutorials, stuff like that. He's an instructor as well as destination-based diving, so it's a good channel to watch. If you guys know other channels like this, let me know. I like those kind. Gary was actually here like 1 or 2 weeks ago. I think he might have even filmed the episode here in Darwin, so I don't know. Check that out, and it's a good one to be subscribed to. So now we're going to focus back on the techie side of things, the educational niche, and that's what I would consider Inner Space Explorers. He's another one of those OGs of the game on YouTube, and he's got some very unique videos again as well. So he does technical stuff in his office, like how to clean a rebreather, and he started a series where he's searching for shipwrecks there, I think in Germany, and he finally found one, and then they're raising artifacts for this shipwreck. So it's a pretty cool and unique series, but very educational. You're bound to run into it when searching for different topics, and it's a good one for the subscription feed.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Justin at DiveReady. Today we're here to talk about one of our great products, the side mount rigging kit.
So to make this video, I was scrolling through my subscription feed to see who else I watch, and there was a lot of dive gear brands and dive agencies. So that's kind of a weird thing to watch, but when I started going to check out their videos to remind why I subscribed, there was a lot of them that did really educational videos. So some of them I subscribe to would be like DiveReady. Of course, they stick to their own gear, but they do a lot of tutorial videos, gear reviews, how to put together, you know, like their side mount or their rebreather or twins, whatever. They do a lot of tutorials. I'm actually helping SDI TDI for their channel, making a Dive Master Skill Circuit video, all in one video, but they do a lot of tutorials as well. So does Raid, SSI. SSI has a lot of their chapters for courses on their YouTube channel. But anyways, a lot of these agencies and brands have little YouTube channels where they do all the tutorials and stuff like that, or gear reviews or whatever. So they're good ones to check out as well.
And so a lot of people are saying, oh, it's lazy to teach people on their knees, get them.
Yeah, it is lazy.
So I don't normally watch like the reaction type channels. There's a lot of them out there, and they're always really, really negative. You know, there's so many out there in every niche there is, just kind of tearing people's content apart, making fun of them, stuff like that. And I always felt like they're just making money off of other people's hard work and content and all that. But that being said, I ran into a channel called narkedtom, and I watched one video and I liked it. It was actually more of educational than anything. He's really nice. I think he's an instructor, and he was really nice about his criticisms. Not necessarily criticisms, but sometimes giving more information than was covered in the video that he was reacting to. So like, you know, just giving some context or pausing it and giving more information or more detail about, you know, certain things, why you should or shouldn't do certain things in diving. So I found it pretty good. It wasn't negative at all, and I started watching more and more episodes, so I like it.
They're using rental gear. So
wow.
Not only he's doing all this crazy stuff, he's doing it in gear they're not familiar with.
What a great point, Gus. Great
This is
pickup.
ridiculous.
So everybody knows about DiveTalk. They're one of the biggest channels in the niche in scuba diving, and I've known about them for a long time. I just never watched anything. I just had this preconceived notion from all these other channels and all these other niches that they're just negative and tearing apart people's hard work, and I didn't want anybody reacting to mine negatively that way. It takes me sometimes a month to edit one episode on the other channel. But that being said, this Lena Mills stuff popped up, so I finally watched one of their episodes. First time ever clicking on one of their videos, even though they pop up all the time. And I felt like a horrible person because they're the opposite of the stereotype that I had put them in. They're really good dudes. Just like Tom, they're not really negative unless it's super bad and that people need to learn a lesson, but they're more of an educational channel. You know, they're really, once you get to know them, because I started watching a lot of videos after that, once you kind of get to know them through YouTube, you think these guys are actually trying to make the world a better place, or the dive industry at least. They're all about the safety, the education, and all that, just like I am here on this channel and many of the other channels I watch. They were more about the education, and you could genuinely feel that the only time they're super negative in criticism or critical is when they they probably should be. Like, I watched one video where they were reacting to a horrible dive instructor that was doing dive master stress test, just ripping off their gear, and it was ridiculous. It was insane, in fact. So I really feel like these are really good guys, Gus and Woody, and they're making the dive industry a better place.
We just spent a week diving around Malta on our 2024 DiveSAGA dive trip. Let's discover some of the dive sites together in today's episode on the DiveSAGA channel.
So DiveSAGA is another one of those destination type channels. I think I was watching them. They used to be more educational, and then I'm not sure what, I think they were based in, correct me if I'm wrong, Honduras. Doing a lot of educational stuff. Kind of reminds me of Mark Vandenberg. But recently, maybe in the last year and a half or 2 years, they really changed, really upped the production value and went more of the Jonathan Bird style, where they are traveling around the world and filming dive destinations and probably the critters of those destinations, which obviously is my dream. That's why I started, to be like Jonathan Bird. But these guys stepped it up and they're actually doing it as well. So they make really good videos and really not really common dive locations all the time. They're doing some pretty cool stuff, so it's definitely one I like having in the subscription feed.
Folks, Bob Collins for Divers Supply. Just the other day, one of the viewers out there asked me to compare the Aqualung Storm with the Scuba Pro Go.
So I watch Dive Supply or Divers Supply because, well, for one, they're a scuba gear shop in Florida, and they're also an SDI TDI training facility. That is one of the coolest, biggest, most envious gear stores I've seen. I mean, I'm here in the Philippines. It's bigger than anything you'll ever find here, but it's a really cool dive store. And from that, you get the host. He reviews all the gear they do, and it's a lot. They go to dive shows as well, review other gear that they don't even have. But that's how I found him. Obviously, I was searching for I think it was a Terek gear review, a dive computer review for a Terek, and I found that channel. He was reviewing computers that they sell probably at the shop. Anyways, it's a really good one to have in your subscription feed. It's all about gear primarily. They have a lot of educational stuff, but yeah, really cool, and it's different than all the rest of them on this list.
Hi, all of you awesome scuba divers out there. Welcome to the ScubaDiverMagazine channel, and welcome to Ask Mark, our scuba diving Q&A, where you ask the scuba diving questions, and I do my best to answer your scuba diving questions.
Oh, ScubaDiverMagazine, that's another one I subscribe to, and it is very much different than all the other ones on this list. I don't watch a lot like this. This is more of a faceless corporate type channel, just like, you know, SSI or one of those agency channels. They've got multiple hosts and many topics. A lot more news and events and things that are happening in the dive industry around the world, as well as some tutorials and stuff like that, educational stuff. So it's good to have them in my subscription feed to watch once in a while, but they have a lot of news, and it's a good one to be subscribed to. And already we've been able to cross off quite a few new species from our species bucket list, a lot of which I knew was in town, but I just had to find it, and some of which I didn't even know existed here in the Philippines. So last but not least, you didn't really think I was gonna forget CritterHunter, my own channel, did you? So I'm sure most of you are subscribers already of the other channel. That's how you found this. But, well, it is the greatest channel known to man. That's what, you know, if they had an award, I think that's the one they would give me. I'm just kidding. It's a horrible channel. If you don't like weird little critters, don't watch it for sure. All I do is say, hey, I'm gonna go diving. Then I dive, and then afterwards I say, hey, I just went diving. That's all it is. It's you gotta really like critters. So yeah, if you're feeling like lowering the standard of your subscription feed or you're a glutton for punishment, go subscribe to CritterHunter. I don't know, maybe you're bored with life, whatever. Alright, so that is 20 of my favorite scuba diving and marine biology niche channels on YouTube. And I know I missed a lot of good ones. Like I said, I kind of skipped out on ones that I used to like but are really inactive. There's a lot more good channels. In fact, this was going to be the top 10, and then when I started looking at my subscription, I was like, oh, I gotta have this one and this one. This guy will be mad if, you know. So I made it to the top 20, but I had to cut it off there. All of the ones though on this list, except for CritterHunter, of course, they're like the best at what they do. They're the top of their industry. They're masters of their craft. They're making the world a better place with education, primarily education, because even the ones like Jonathan Bird, it's all about education, even though it's about critters or marine biology or underwater cinematography. If you think about it, all of these are kind of a counter voice to nonsense on YouTube, like TikTok videos and little mukbang videos and dancing. This is bringing our dive industry up a level, and these guys are the best at what they do. So let me know who I missed. These guys are ocean ambassadors, but I'm sure there's a lot more out there. So let me know who I missed, who should be on my list or who's on your list. And yeah, did I tell you anybody new? Especially CritterHunter. I'm sure nobody's following that, but you know, I don't blame you for that one. Unless you like worms. There's a lot of worms. You know, nudibranch. My best friend's like, dude, you film worms. It's so boring. Asshole. Anyways, if you watch this far into this video, I want you to put a little worm emoji in the comments below. Alright? Let me know that you watched this far. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.